Hello, everyone. Good morning, evening, or night. Wherever you are, I hope you are having a good day. And today, I just want to take some time to talk about my top albums of 2025. And just before we get started, I do want to mention that this is in no way a ranked video. I just want to talk about just my favorite albums of the year, because a lot of times when people have these, top albums of the year videos, and they rank them, it gets kind of divisive. So I just wanted to talk about the music and what I enjoyed from this past year. And hopefully you enjoy, and feel free to tell me what your favorites were in the comments, or if I'm wrong or that I have bad taste. So yeah, whatever. And the gameplay, there's just going to be gameplay in the back, and not really a lot of visual aid. So you can just put this in the background if you wanted, or you can watch the gameplay, whatever you want to do. So yeah, let's get started. So the first album I would like to talk about is the long-awaited Music by Playboi Carti. Came out early this year, and after many delays and lies and speculation, it finally came out. And honestly, I really enjoyed this album. I think it was worth the wait personally. I am a little biased because Carti is one of my favorite artists. I know I'm very white, but I promise I'm not, too biased. But Music was one of my favorite albums this year. I know there is a little bit of controversy with the AI usage on Rather Lie and Timeless, which wasn't on this album. It's on another album that I'll be talking about later. But this album is really fun. It's really long. It has like 30 tracks, I believe, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes. But after all the time we waited, I really do think that that's the least he could have given us. But I get it, it's a streaming album, and he needs to have a lot of streams, and this was streamed like 1 billion times this year, so I guess it worked. But yeah, let's starting out with my favorite song on the album, which probably has to be Pop Out, dude. This is probably one of the craziest Carti intros. I thought Rockstar Made was like a crazy intro, but dude, Pop Out, like hearing that at 7 in the morning after waiting for so long, it was brain melting. It's so like, it's just in your face and abrasive and almost experimental. And I know this is the sound that rap has been going towards for a minute now, especially with Osama-san and Too Slimy and all these other rappers. But him starting off, that was honestly rare, not rare, but brave, for his, because of how the Whole Lotta Red rollout turned out, and people thought it was trash. But I love Pop Out. It's one of the It's a great way to start the album, and I just love that song. And then featuring with Crush right after. I will say that I believe the track list is messed up, because I think there's like a little transition at the end that's supposed to go into Evil Jordan, which is another great song. But yeah, honestly, it has some really cool production on here. Crush again. It has that "Johnny wanna let me crush," like it's like an orchestra kind of choir-esque kind of thing, and then. And with the feature with Travis Scott, which I will say, Travis Scott has way too many features on this album. I really do like Carti's music, but this album really does kind of have a lot of mid features. The Travis features are really mid. The Future feature is kind of mid. It kind of lasts forever. But yeah, other than that, like some other great songs on here. Mojo Jojo, him and Kendrick have insane chemistry. I feel like a lot of people don't like the chemistry between them, but I really do like the chemistry. Songs like Crank, I See You Baby Boy, Cocaine Nose, Olympian, Opium Baby, which is a ridiculous song with so many ad-libs, and it melts your brain the first time, but you get used to it and you enjoy it. So yeah, Music by Playboi Carti, one of my favorites of the year. It was my favorite for a while, but a few albums later in this video, I come and dethrone it. So yeah, my first album I want to talk about was Music. The next album I want to talk about is
this new album
by Billy Woods, and I just want to start this off by saying that Billy Woods has been on another level the past few albums that he's dropped, that being Maps, Ethiops, and Churches. 3 of some of the best, well written and best produced albums I think I've ever heard in my life. And
new Billy Woods album
honestly was no exception to that rule, because going in, I've been listening to Maps a lot, and hearing
this album
for the first time was surreal, dude. Like the production on this album is insanely good. Like it's like a horror movie. Like it's not a horror movie in a way like a scary monster. Like it's a horror movie, and like this is life. We live this every day, and it's just it's terrifying. Like, and every time I listen to it, it gives me the creeps, and I'm like scared to like be in my own house. Like not because of the contents, but just because it's so, it's so real and raw on some of these songs, and you can tell it comes from a very personal place. And just some great lines on this song. Why when it's time to eat, it's always ashes in my mouth. Just really, sharp commentary on, the world we have today. What you took, you can't give back now. We'd have me paralyzed, hit it again, automatic. 9 fingers can still tie a tie. The air pregnant, the whole city's just waiting. Those are just some examples of lines in this album, but the writing is on point on this album, and the production is just so brooding, filled with dread, and just makes you uneasy listening to this album. And I would honestly, this might be the best album that came out this year, and it's not like a banger album. Like, you don't listen to it for bangers or anything like that. It's like you listen to it and like how you get in, how you watch a horror movie and you get enjoyment out of a horror movie. It's kind of a bad way to put it, and it sounds like kind of a bad example, but like this album is fantastic. And if you're like, it's not like a lyrical spiritual, I promise. But it's just like, it's very, kind of esoteric kind of lyrics, and it makes you think. And there are some political, stuff on there, and sharp political bars talking about the world we live in. And I would wholeheartedly recommend this album if you're into that experimental kind of thing. And definitely listen to this with the lights on. But yeah, that's my second album of the year. Every year there's always that one artist that you always go back to, whether it be you just love their music. There's one song that has you hooked, or you just discovered their discography and you're trying to go through it. And that artist this year for me was Jane Remover. Now, I couldn't decide which of her projects she dropped this year to put on this list, so I went ahead and put both of them I listened to the most, that being Ghost Holding by Venturing and Revenge Seekers by Jane Remover, like I just said. But man, this was her year. Like, she really for me, she really dominated this year. Starting off with Ghost Holding, what a great way to start off the year. It came out February, and it has some of the the coolest sounding production for any rock album I've heard in a minute. It's not even like the best produced album in the world or anything like that, but it's so crushing, and the lyrics are so personal, and it's truly a beautiful record. I love this album. My favorite song of the year is on here, being Dead Forever. It's just some of the hardest, loudest, it's in your face guitar, and it's just great lyrics, and just personal, and just makes you really emotional, and it's just awesome. Play My Guitar being the first song on that album, it's awesome. The riffs on here are beautiful. I love all the riffs on here. It's nothing too crazy, but like, it's something new and unique, and it's beautiful, man. I love this album. And then she followed it up by dropping Revenge Seekers like a month or two later in April. And this I was not ready for this album. I'm gonna be real with you. I just finished listening. I just got into listening to Census Designated, and that was a more shoegazy sound. So going into Ghost Holding, I was more a familiar sound. But with Revenge Seekers, I was not ready. Just straight off the bat with Twice Removed, just this crazy booming 808s bass sound in your face, and it's just I'm gonna stop right there and say this album has some of the the best one-liners I've been saying all year. Dear God, place a curse on those who wrong me. Angels in Camo. We got Please God Save Me. I'm so turnt right now. I love this. I love the lyrics on this album. It's so fun, and the production is so unique, and it's hype, dude. And there's the one feature on here on Psycho Boost. It has Danny Brown on there, and he fits this sound perfectly. Which he did end up dropping a hyperpop, Quadeca inspired produced album later in the year, which honestly, like, this was just the precursor to that. And I love his feature on here, and just that booming, it feels like you're a part of me. Like, it hits so hard. I love it. The production on Star People, the beat switch halfway through to the more guitar bass sound, and it slows down, and it's awesome, man. Just, it's great. Like, yeah, man, I could talk about it all day, but there's a few more albums I want to talk about. So yeah, definitely give this a try. If you're more into the rock kind of inspired sound, listen to Ghost Holding. But if you're more into the hyper pop kind of, rap and kind of hyper pop inspired sound, then go listen to Revenge Seekers right now. The highest recommendation from there. Next up, we have an album that I honestly was not expecting to come out this year, and that is Willoughby Tucker, I Will Always Love You by Ethel Cain. Now, we had an album that came out, she released an album that came out early in the year, being Perverts, and I really liked some of the songs off that album, but it definitely is not a accessible listen to a lot of people, and to me, because I'm not, it's like half the songs are super like drony and like dark and gloomy, and again, I really like this album, but I really do think that it doesn't hold a candle to Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. Now, from the start, man, just some of the most crushingly beautiful music I've heard this year, if not in my music listening career. Jamie, starting off, I will always love you. You remind, like, she's your girl, but you were my sister first, with that instrumental, and it's super bare and just right in your face, and it's just super raw, and God, dude, and then and you can tell that and then the instrumental, interludes Willoughby's theme and Willoughby's interlude. It's beautiful, man, and it is kind of slow the pace of the album down, I feel like, but honestly, it's worth it, because I really do love the sound of these interludes. It gets me in my feels. And then another song I really enjoy is Nettles. Oh my God, dude, when that came out, I listened to that at work, dude. I got super emotional, like, oh man, you were in a race to grow up, and the piece of shrapnel flew and blew that part of you. I hope the race is worth the fight, dude. Like, just, it's about growing up, and just when you were kids, wanting to grow up, and then when it's time, and you're losing, all this time, and it's just, God, it's so beautiful, and it makes you emotional. And then this track Dust Bowl, the interpolation of Stars Will Fall by Duster, dude, that gives me chills just talking about it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, musically, this album is on another level, especially in her discography. I know that this is kind of more of an extension of her sound, but man, I love this album, and I'm so glad it dropped. And then the last song on here, Waco, Texas, is a 10-minute epic, and it's just some of the most beautiful, and it builds up and builds up. I know I've said beautiful a million times on this segment, but God, dude, this album is so good. Go check it out if you like folk music and indie music. And if you listened to Ethel Cain before and haven't listened to this album, go listen right now, because it's amazing. So this next album coming up, Getting Killed by Geese. I didn't get Geese at first, I will say, because sometimes you'll listen to an album and it clicks instantly, or you hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or it takes you a few listens to truly understand an artist, or to truly adjust your ears to what you're listening to. And I think Geese was definitely one of those bands. Now, I have seen them. I saw them live before King Gizzard, and I didn't know that was Cameron Winter, because I loved heavy metal, and I don't know how I didn't know, because his voice is so distinctive, but I guess I wasn't really paying attention. But I've heard of Geese before, and 3D. I had heard 3D Country before, after I watched them live. But then once Getting Killed came out, I was not impressed. I don't know why I didn't like it, but if there's another album or I was into, or I was listening to the Jane Remover, I don't know what I was doing or what drugs I was on, because this album is phenomenal. Getting Killed by Geese I didn't get the hype at first, but it is it deserves all the hype. Like, this is a new, like, heavy hitter in the rock scene, and we really needed a new, like, voice in the rock scene, because it used to be Black Midi, it used to be Black Country New Road, but Black Midi doesn't exist anymore. Jordy Group's doing his own thing, and then obviously they're doing like the folk music now for BCNR. But now we have Geese now, and we're good. This album is fantastic. It's from straight, like, from the first track, Trinidad. It is insane. Like, the sound is insane. Like, I have a device in my car, like, it's the screaming and like the tension just slowly building up, and it makes you anxious in a good way, if that makes any sense. And like this, and then Cobra is beautiful. Like, we have, and then my favorite track is Getting Killed, and it's just the distorted guitars at the beginning, and the driving, and then it slows down to that little jam at the end, and it's just, oh man. And Cameron Winter's vocals, like, at first it is kind of weird, and it's gotta get kind of used to it, but his range is just fantastic. He's a great singer in in a weird way, if that makes any sense, and it's beautiful. And then we got tracks like, and then Taxes is probably the biggest song, or something. It's the second biggest song on the album. The biggest one is Alpes du Cocaine, however you say it. But yeah, Taxes is beautiful. The build up, there's just like the sparse drums, and then if you want me to pay my taxes, you're gonna have to nail me down. And then the beat drops, and it's just the most beautiful. I get chills every time I hear it, and it's, oh my god. And then right after Long Island City, Here I Come, again, that same like kind of tension, and it just build up, and it's just chaos. Then it just has this voice that, oh man, it's hard to explain. It really is how beautiful this album is. It's honestly otherworldly. I don't want to, like, it's otherworldly, but also like familiar. Like you it's like, I don't even know. You really just have to listen to it to understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, this album is beautiful, and again, give it a few chances, and you might not like it at first. But if you don't like it, then give it one or two more chances, and then if it doesn't hit, then you don't like it. So yeah, Getting Killed by Geese, honestly the closest thing to a 10 on this list. No glaze. Go listen to this album. It's so good. Before we get to the last album on this list, I do want to go over some honorable mentions that I thought were pretty solid, but nothing crazy. So first off, we have Private Music by Deftones, another pretty solid Deftones album that they've released. Ever since like White Pony, I feel like their discography has been kind of hit or miss, but this album is really solid. There's some good songs in there, like Milk of the Madonna, and I Think About It All the Time. But yeah, it's just another Deftones album. If you love Deftones, you'll like this album. But if you don't, you won't. So it's pretty simple terms right there. The next up, we have Evangelical Girl's a Gun by Yule. And now, 2 years ago, when she dropped Soft Scars, I really did enjoy that album. That was my album of the year. And I was hoping that Girls a Gun would follow suit, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping. It's kind of, sonically, it's kind of all over the place. It definitely has that Yule sound, but I wish that it was kind of more groundbreaking and unique like the last one was. But and some of the songs were kind of half-baked and kind of just tacked on, in my opinion. And then lastly, we have High Anxiety by Too Slimy. I know that it's been memed on to death, that Too Slimy is kind of a meme at this point, but I really did enjoy this album. I thought it was pretty forward-thinking. The super aggressive bass and really high synthesizers were kind of hard for some people to get into, and some people thought it's trash, but I really did enjoy this album, and I thought it was really good and forward-thinking and pushing music forward, but nothing crazy. I really did enjoy it. There's really about 4 truly good songs on there, but yeah, that's my honorable mentions. And the last album I want to talk about is New World Disorder by Meat Computer. And now this album is probably the best produced album that I've heard this year. Now I know that might be kind of, a lot of people don't know who Meat Computer is, but you should, because this is probably one of the most insane sounding albums I've heard. Like, it is like, just going off the song title, severe mental illness, hidden matrix psychosis, fading inner soul, non-seen demonic layer, paranoid blood ritual. I know a lot of people might be turned off by those titles, but I promise you, it's some of the most forward-thinking and just insane sounding songs. The super esoteric kind of feel to these songs, super high energy, and I just love this. I love this album. There's 30 songs on it, around 30 songs. But that's about 24. I lied. About 24 songs on here, and it's just this is such a cool album. From songs like Paranoid Blood Ritual that start off kind of slow, but then have an insane beat drop into this super hectic and just hype song, these crazy trap drums and crazy high pitched vocals and synthesizers, and it's super insanely like hype. I don't know, this album is awesome. The energy that I get from the album is just kind of incredible. And then World as Illusion, it's super cool hook. I guess it's a hook. World as Illusion, World as Illusion. It's been in my head ever since I heard this album. We got songs like Prison Hell Planet, Dissolving into Chaos, Fragile Interlude, and then later in the album it cools out. We get some ballads, and not really ballads, but like kind of slower songs. And yeah, this album is fantastic and one of my favorite of the year. And it came out kind of late. It came out in November, and this is definitely, I was really hoping for Weird Alone Guy to come out this year, but instead we got New World Disorder, and it was a fantastic album, and I really love this album. It's probably one of my most streamed albums of last year, next to Music, and I would definitely, it's definitely not for everybody. It's the vocals, it's like super high pitched, and some of the instrumentals are kind of hard to get into, and there's one on here that's like super grating to the ears, but other than that, super interesting. And then songs like In My Room are super just introspective and beautiful. Like this album is awesome. I definitely want to check it out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said at the beginning, wherever you are, hope you're having a great day, and check out my other videos, and if you enjoyed, so yeah, have a good one.